Ever wonder why some digital courses sell like hotcakes while others do not? It all comes down to how compelling that sales page is. And in today's video, I'm going to show you step by step how to create your own high converting sell page using Kajabi. I also have a free template for you so you can create amazing, compelling sales page copy using some AI magic for free. So you'll be able to grab that template and walk through step by step with me. Let's get to it. So believe it or not, there is a secret recipe for creating a high converting sales page. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to create this exact sales page copy and the design all using Kajabi. So we're going to walk through each section, what needs to go in each section and why. Also, I'm going to show you the template that you can grab and use so that you can create this copy, the wording on the page with ease. So first things first, let me show you the template that's coming along with this video. It's going to be linked down below and the reason why I created it. So let me close this up here so it's not so overwhelming. There's 3 parts to this template, and so you'll be able to make a copy and create it for yourself. But I call it my 17-minute sales page, and really it takes 15 minutes to fill out a questionnaire so that your AI friend is going to know exactly what this offer is and who you are selling it to. Then with that information, you'll be able to use each of the AI prompts that I provide you with in this template so that you can create the copy section for each part of the page. So first of all, the start here page is going to tell you, listen, there's 2 parts to this. The first one is to create or complete the offer questionnaire. And the second part is to be able to use the AI prompts with ChatGPT or any other AI tool that you like to use for copy. First off is your offer questions. So I say give yourself about 15 minutes to just go ham and answer all of these questions. These are very specific questions to how you're creating an irresistible, very specific offer, which means you are helping someone get a transformation that they are looking for versus just giving them information, right? Information is a commodity at this point. People are looking for a transformation, not just more information. So fill out this questionnaire. Then once you have this questionnaire ready to go, there's 20 questions there, 10 questions on your offer and 10 questions on who you're selling it to. Then you're going to do a little trick on your keyboard. You can do Windows A for copy all or Command A on a Mac for copy all. You're copying it all. Then you're going to select copy. You're highlighting it all and then go to copy. Then you can paste this into ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT that this is information I want you to use in order to help me create sales page copy. That way you are training your robot well, and so it knows exactly what you're speaking about and who you're speaking to. Okay, so that's part 1. Part 2 is your sales page copy. So I break down the sales page section by section, what goes in it, and I provide you with an AI prompt to plug into ChatGPT so it gives you the exact copy you need for that section. So I went ahead and did an example here. Here's my 17-minute sales page copy. I completed all of my questions here in the questionnaire, and here is my sales page copy. So once I gave ChatGPT all of my answers for my offer copy questions, I now am able to just copy paste in the AI prompt for each section. And I went ahead and just pasted the answer that I got from AI here. So I have it ready to go for my sales page. Okay, let's go ahead and dive into Kajabi so that we can build out this page. I'm going to go back here, and what we're going to do to speed this along and actually help you go from idea to your actual sales page quickly is we are going to use one of Kajabi's sales page templates. So in website, in landing pages, you're going to find the new landing page button here. And you're going to scroll down and go to the section called sales. And I want you to find a template called Prosper. Now, if you don't see Prosper here, you can go to view all for 14 other sales page templates and you can find Prosper there. We're going to start with Prosper just because it's the easiest to move forward with all the sections. But if you find another one that looks better for you, feel free to use those same sections and create it with that other template. So clicking on Prosper here, I'm going to select it, select Get Started and give it a name. We're just going to call this sales page here. Go ahead and put your offer name on there so you have it in your records for what sales page this is for. And we can go ahead and get started with editing this entire page. First things first, I'm going to bring your attention over to the left-hand side, and I want to show you that there are two tabs here. There are sections, so sections on your page. These are kind of think of horizontal sections on your page, kind of making a sandwich. There's also settings. So let's go to the page settings, and I want you to notice a couple things. This is where you can upload your favicon image. That's a little image that's going to show in the browser tab. So you can upload the favicon. I suggest dimensions 40 by 40. You can create that in Canva. I'll go back here and let's go ahead and look at the style guide. So the style guide is going to have your primary color as well as your button color. So this is where you can update those two colors just by selecting there, and you might already have your brand colors already loaded in Kajabi, or you can put in the hex color there. Additionally, if you scroll down, you can see the body font type as well as your heading font. So you can change both of those here. Okay, so let's go back here and let's go to sections. So the first thing that's most important on your sales page is something we call before the scroll. This means before anyone has to scroll on their phone or their device at all, you want them to be able to know what you're selling, essentially the main benefit for them, what is it about, and how to get started. That's it. Before they even scroll, they should have those three pieces of information immediately without any effort on their part. So let's go ahead and update this before the scroll section. In Kajabi, they call it the hero section. And so we want to make sure this is very clear for them. So I'm going to click on the hero and you're going to see what text elements or section elements are living in the hero section. So first we have a text box, then we have a video and another text box. What we can do is we can hover over the element that we don't really want. You'll see triple dots here. You can delete this content block completely. My advice is to do hide, because if I ever want to come back and add a VSL, a video sales letter, I have that element already plugged in there. Additionally, I don't really need this extra text, so I'm going to take that out as well. You'll also see that button went away because the button is attached to this text box. We're going to add that call to action button back in this text box. To start up here, we're going to click on this section here. This is just a logo, and we can go ahead and upload the logo. You can upload a logo just creating it in Canva, or if you have a logo file ready for you. I'm going to show you in Canva. I'm going to go back to Kajabi and show you how to find the dimensions for anything you're uploading. So you can see the image box here. If you hover over it, it's kind of hard to see. There's a little eye there for like information. And so it gives you suggested dimensions there. So this says 360 by 80. So I just went into Canva and created a dimension 360 by 80. It's a little blurry here because it's smaller, but we have the dimensions correct. I'm going to click into it and now we can click share. So I'm just going to download this. Download, we're going to select, we actually don't have to select any other page, it's ready to go. We're going to download it and it's going to be living in our downloads. So I'll go back to our Kajabi page here, click on the image I want to replace, select upload new file, and it's going to go in my browser download. So I'll just pull in the last download. There it is. And one thing I forgot to do, and this is actually something I wanted to point out in all of your images, I want it to be white color, the font, but I actually don't want this purple in the background. I just made it purple so I can see the white font. So actually what I want to do is go share, download, do transparent background. Let's download this again, and we'll put it back on the page. So just remember that you're looking for a transparent image to remove that background. That's for any image you want on this page without a background. That's always going to look best for web design. So it's going to pull in my logo here in just a moment. Okay, and we can also change the size. So if I wanted that a little bit bigger, you can notice down below the actual place where we put that image, where it says image width. If I change the image width, the height will automatically update, and so I can change it right there on the page. Great. So now I have my logo in place. Let's go ahead and update the actual headline here. Okay, so I'm going to go and I have my headline ready from using my own template. And so let's plug that in. One tip for keeping the formatting that's already on the page is when you're deleting text, I always keep the first letter in that text because it's going to keep that format for me. And then I can paste in mine and it will hold that format. And then I can take away that first letter and there we go. So now I have my headline and I can even make some adjustments here. So for example, even if you're allergic to tech, I'm going to take that out and actually put it for my sub headline here. Okay, I'm gonna change some formatting here, make it bold, okay, and maybe make it italicized. All right, now let's go ahead and add our call to action. So again, we wanna make sure they know exactly what the course benefit is and if it's for them, and then how to get started. So scroll down here, any text box, you can enable a call to action button. So just below the text box on the left-hand side, we're gonna find call to action, and we are going to click get started, or actually we're gonna select include call to action, that's CTA, and we can change the text here. Now for any call to action, you want to connect it to a checkout page. So the button action for any button on this page is going to be going to a checkout page. If you're unsure how to create your checkout page and your offers, that I have for you in another video, and find it linked below or in that card in one of the corners in the top. All right, so here's our get started button. Now we have kind of the caveman test is what I like to call it. Without any effort, they know what the benefit is, if it's for them, and how to get started. Last up in the hero section, let's update this background. So this is an actual background for the entire section. So make sure you're not clicked into one of these elements here. Click on the background of the section, and then we'll come over. We can actually see all the elements in that section, the one that's showing, and then we're going to come to this background image. So we have an option here. We can have no background image at all, and you can just select a color. You can have an image in the background or a video, kind of slow moving video. Sometimes I like a slow moving video, but for this sales page, I don't want any distractions on what the main benefit is. So I'm going to keep it as an image, and I'm just going to grab one of the images I already have in my recent images here. And so I'm going to select one that is very wide. I suggest a dimension of 2880, so 2880 by 1200. That's probably the best dimension for a background on a section in Kajabi. So I'm going to scroll down here. It might take a minute for all of my images to load. I can choose something like this that just has a little bit of design element in it, or I can choose something, let's see, one that I know that's for a background, maybe that one there. Okay, so we're going to select that. It's going to copy the file from my recent images files, and it's going to pull it up here. Something I like to add to any background image when there's text on the front of it is I like to add a background color and then lessen the opacity. So I'll choose black usually, and then I will half in that opacity so that we know that, or we can actually see that font a little better, especially if it's white. I like to have a little bit of a darker color there. Okay, I'm gonna hit save. It might take a minute to update my image on the background here, but I know it's processing. Let's keep going. So I do wanna show, here it goes. I do wanna show that the next part here is social proof logos. For any of the sections, the entire page, I suggest, again, not deleting the entire section, but just hiding it in case you wanna come back and add it later. So just click hide if that's not for you right now, and we'll move on to section 2. So the next section is to introduce the problem. So you want people to read this and think, wow, she really understands me. She knows exactly what I'm thinking, and she knows my pain points that I'm coming up against when I want that transformation she mentioned in the first section. So we are introducing the problem. And so for this section, we're going to have a, hey, does this sound like you? And we're going to use these check marks for people to be able to identify and say, yes, she knows the exact problem I am coming up against. So again, I used my AI prompt in the instructions or in the template, and I'm going to go ahead and just add that copy here. So this is the copy that I've added to this section when I'm introducing the problem. So you can see I have check marks here that has come with the template. Let's say I like the check marks, but I don't really like the color. How you can change the color is actually in the custom code. It's really simple. Let me show you how to do it. So I'm going to go over to back out of this section itself, and I'm going to go back where I have sections and settings. You're going to click on settings and go to custom code. Now I'm going to open up this custom code box just so we can read a little bit more. What we're looking for is the bullet points where it has checks. So one piece of custom code here, they said bulleted lists that have green arrows instead of dots. So that's not these bullet points. We're going to scroll down further where we have check marks. This next part says it changes the bulleted list to have green check marks instead of dots. The custom code for these bullet points, and we're going to change the color here. So scrolling down more, I'm just going to look for something that has color with the hex code, and this is where I can update that color. Something I like to do in Canva is have all of my colors here so I can click on a color I want. Let's say this background color is the one I want. Click on the color, go to this plus rainbow, and it's going to show you the exact hex code. I'm going to copy that, come back here, and just paste that hex code right here. Now, I'm going to make sure we don't have anything left over, otherwise I won't be able to read it. Hit save, and let's see if it can make that change for us. Okay, and there we go. So we have now the purple here. That's going to work well. So let me give you a couple of examples of what I have for Does This Sound Like You? My course is called Confident with Kajabi, and it's really for those industry expert people who have a ton of knowledge to share, but the tech is really a barrier between getting what the goal they have out of their mind into a digital course. You are brilliant in your field, but freeze when you face technical platforms. You've wasted countless hours watching random Kajabi tutorials. You see competitors with half your experience successfully launching online courses, and so forth. I really want them to say, wow, she really gets me. Something else I like to do for this much text is widen that box. How can we do that? Let's select on the content block, scroll to the top, and I'm going to increase the width of the total block. So I'm going to change it maybe just to 7 there. Okay. So the next part of your page, your sales page, is to make a section where they know that they're not alone. These are the problems they're facing, but it's not just them. So the next section I have in our template is, let's go back to the template just so we can see where we are at. So we have section 1, section 2, and we have section 3, which is relate to the reader. So again, you're going to be able to just grab this copy prompt and put it into ChatGPT for the copy for this section. So let me go ahead and add the copy I have for this section. Okay, so now I have this copy in place. You're not alone. And I really am speaking directly to the person, the one person who's reading this at a time, right? So you want to speak directly to them versus just giving information about the course. So you're not alone. I know that feeling of staring at a blank Kajabi dashboard after hours of confusing tutorials, contemplating whether to hire an expensive developer. As an instructional designer, I realized that the missing piece wasn't more technical videos. It was a clear roadmap specifically for industry experts who aren't tech people. Okay, so I'm saying, listen, this is a common problem and you're not alone. Something else I want to do to this section is we already have a how to get started or a CTA call to action button just above this section. So I don't really want this here. So what I'll do is just click into the text area, and knowing that this call to action is attached to this text box, I can scroll below the text and I'll find the call to action option here, and I'm just going to deselect and it will remove it. Let's hit save in the top right corner. Okay, so now we are ready to move on to the next section. After we have related to the reader, let's scroll down to section 4. Section 4 is to help them envision the future transformation. Help them envision what their life is like when this problem is gone, right? What is that transformation and how are they going to feel once they have it? So I'm going to come back to this section here, and this is where I want the transformation. I suggest using something like imagine if. Okay, so I'm going to embed my copy that I have here from that template from my AI help, and I will show you in just a moment. So now we have our future pacing or helping them envision the transformation, starting with copy that says, imagine 9 days from now you have, and it's talking about those main pieces in their lives that will change once they have this transformation, once they have what the solution is in the digital course. So if I wanted to change this picture, just click on the picture, and I'm able to see the recommended dimensions, which is 1920 by 1080, and I'm able to change this up. But notice this is a square image here, or it's actually more of a vertical image. So you can change the dimensions and just swap them. So you can go 1080 by 1920 to have a vertical image. All right, so let's keep going. And let's move to the next section here. So our next section is to introduce the course as their solution. Okay, so you've talked to them about their problems, you've related to them so they don't feel alone, you've spelled out what the future could look like for them. Now it's time to introduce the course as a solution. So I'll come back to this section and I'm going to say introducing the name of my course here with some very core benefits, not the features, not saying how many modules or how many videos, the benefits they're going to get by enrolling in this course. Okay, so I will put my copy here that I've gotten from those AI prompts, and I'm going to show you how to update this image. Copy for my introduction to my course as a solution here. I want to point out that for every benefit I have here, I have this statement that continues from what they're getting to what the core benefit is. And it's the so you can, okay? So you can, and give a verb. So for example, clear visual tutorials for every essential Kajabi feature, so you can build a professional looking course, right? This next one says pre-made templates and copy prompts, so you can focus on sharing your expertise, a proven sequential implementation system, so you can stop feeling overwhelmed and start generating passive income. So again, each of these things that they are getting, these core benefits, have a connection to how that's going to serve them best. Let's go ahead and talk about this image. So I actually have more copy here than what we have the kind of the height of this image. And so I actually want the image to kind of line up with the copy. So notice this is a very horizontal image. This is probably a 1920 by 1080. I want to make this, like I said, more vertical. So I'm going to think, okay, I only want the width of this to be about 1200, but I need the height of it to be much more. So I'm going to do one of my favorite dimensions, which is, I'll come back here, it's 1440 by 1200. So let me come back to grab an image here. We're actually going to create a new design, and I just like to create my own custom sizes. And after creating a little bit in Kajabi, you're going to know what size is going to work best for the places you want it. And so here is my 1200 by 1440. So 1200 width by 1440 height. So it's going to be taller than it is wide. So we're going to open it up. Here's our blank canvas here. And so if I wanted a course mock-up, so I'll show you what it looks like. If I want a design that has, I would do course mock-up. And that word mock-up just means it looks like a real course on devices so they can see into it. So for example, if I wanted something like this, okay, and I could actually take away a lot of this text because you don't want to have them read back and forth, and I can change any of these elements, and then I can have a mock-up of my course, such as like the modules or the home page, or even a community if I'm including that in there. Just a picture of each of those screen grabs and place them on here, and that would give me a course mock-up for the introduction section. For mine, I just want a nice image here. So I'm going to click there and go to photos and grab some of the stock photo. So for here, I'm actually just going to grab and drag it here, and then I'll go ahead and download. Now, this does look fun. I love the cool drink here, but I want it to be more of, listen, you actually can create your course faster than you think. So I want someone sitting down and creating a course or creating assets on a computer. I'm going to only download the current page, which is page 2. Done, and download. Come back over here. I'm going to click on the image so I know where I'm uploading it to. Click on upload new file, grab my latest download that just came in, hit save and upload. Okay, so it's going to upload to that space, and it's going to fit a little bit better with my text here. Great. Okay, so we're gonna hit save, and that is the introduction section. Let's keep going. We are rolling, people. Okay, so we are past section 5, which is introduce your course as a solution. Let's move on. Now we get to do a breakdown of what is actually in this course, doing a module breakdown. Again, here's your AI prompt, and I'm gonna show you on the page where this goes. So I'll go back here, I'll scroll past your introduction. And the next section on this page is exactly what we need it to be, what's included. So I'm just going to remove this copy here and say what's included. Now it gives you 4 modules here, which is what I'll show you for an example. But if you need more of these, just make sure you click into the section where it says modules, and you can actually duplicate both of these. So if I needed another one, I would say duplicate image, go back, and I would duplicate this feature, okay? And I would make sure that those are in the right order. So it goes image, feature, great. And you can see I've duplicated module 4, so now I have another one. That's just how easy it is. So let me go ahead and remove those. My example just has 4 modules. My course is bigger than that, but for the sake of this sales page, I want to make sure that we see exactly what it looks like for each module. For as far as the copy, I'm going to keep module 1. We'll have a title for that module, and I'm just going to have one check mark that gives the core benefit of what they're going to get in that module. Let me put in the copy and we'll keep on going. With the copy ready, let's go ahead and update these pictures so they reflect a little more on the actual module. So I'm just going to select the image and notice it is square. So the usual recommendation is a 920 by 1080, but I want it square. So I'm going to do 1080 by 1080. I'll go back to Canvas. Let's go ahead and go back to Canva Home here, and we'll go custom size, and we're going to do 1080 by 1080 square. Now I've already created some designs, but just to show you what that looks like, I'll go back to Home and Canva, and I already have my square images here. All I did was go to the photos section, search some, computer, desk, something like that, and just drag and drop the image right on here so it would fill it in full. So to download each of these, I'm going to select it and I'll go share, download. I'm going to say the current page it's on, done, and download. Go back here, select the image so I know it's going to be uploading to the right place. Go upload new file, and I'm going to pull the latest download in, hit save and upload. I'm going to go ahead and do that for the 3 remaining images, and we'll move on to the next section. So the next section, after you've done your module breakdown, is to talk about yourself as the perfect guide for them. What makes you the right person for them to be taught this skill and learn through this course? So the next section actually on this page talks about who is this boot camp for. Feel free to keep in this section if you'd like, but know that you've been talking directly to that person the whole time. This is just kind of clarification on who is it for. I'm actually going to remove this section. Let me show you how. I'm going to go back and make sure I'm just on sections. I know this previous section here is the module breakdown, so I'm going to go to one that says if for you if. And I'm just going to, again, just hide that. And if I want to come back and add it later, I can. The next section I recommend you absolutely need to have is, again, why are you the perfect person to be a guide on this journey for them, on this transformation for them? Here's the thing when it talks about yourself. Don't introduce yourself as a third person, like Nicole did this or Nicole did that, and Nicole is a perfect person because. Speak to them as if you are speaking directly to them at a coffee shop over a latte. Why are you the perfect person to help them go through this transformation? Why do you know exactly where they are? And what skills do you have to make sure that they get the result they are looking for? So I suggest, like I said, speaking directly to them. Additionally, you're going to go ahead and add an image of yourself. It's a great way to know that you're a real person and not just some AI bot. So I'm going to go ahead and add the copy here and upload this picture. So to get an image of myself, I just uploaded one to Canva and I put a nice little square behind for additional design. You don't need to do that, but that's just what I had. And so I'm going to click on it and I want to know that I'm going to download just page 2. It is a dimension at 1200 by 1440 because I want it to be a little more vertical than it is horizontal, but not, rectangular, not square. But I don't want this background. So I want to make sure when I click share and download, I'm going to select just page 2 and transparent, and then I'm going to download it. I'll go back to the page, select the image that I want to upload or change, select image, upload new file, and grab my latest download from my browser downloads, save and upload that file. Okay, we've done a lot of changes. I'm going to remind you to hit that save button in the top right corner. Okay, so now we have a section here on why I would be the perfect person to help them with this transformation. So that's the section that you have here. And we're going to move on to the next part, which is social proof or testimonials. So first things first, if you don't like the look of these, you can hide them in this section. So if I click on it, these are just features. You can hide each one. So instead you can just go back and add a whole other section here. And I'm going to scroll down to the section options and you can see we have testimonials here. So you could do 2 at a time, which will give you a space to put in an image of that person. Or you can also just put images here instead of the actual quote pictures, but they won't be as big as the pictures you could put here in testimonials. If you decided to add this section, know that any section added to a page is going to drop to the bottom. So hover over the double line here to move it where you want it to be. So here I would put it right here and I would get rid of these content blocks in this section. So the next section is just testimonials. I'm going to use the content blocks provided, so I'm going to delete that additional section and just work with what I have here. So clicking on here, know that this image, so you can update this in Canva, but just searching quotes, changing the color, and uploading that image just like we've done throughout the rest of the page. Here is where you're going to add in your text testimonial and who it's by, right? So for the sake of time, I'm going to leave these, but you always want as many of these as possible on your entire sales page. Social proof is everything with digital products. All right, let's scroll down and let's look back at our template here so we know what section we're on. We have the About Me section, we have our social proof or testimonial section, and now we want some unique features. So you can add just a straight content block here. I'm going to add one just after the About section. I'm going to go back and add a section, and I'm going to add just a text section here. So text, again, any new section drops to the bottom. So we're going to scroll it up right there. And, oh, that's too far. No problem. We're going to move it to the right area. And we're going to make it really simple. By just clicking in the box here, we can actually change this text. Here's a tip, right? So if you want to keep that formatting, delete all the letters except for the very first letter. It's going to keep that formatting for you. We're going to say, what makes this program different? With that title, I can take out this regular text here, and either I can just make a statement on exactly what makes this program different, or I can use the bullet points there and just list out all the reasons why this program is different from all the other ones that they've seen online. And the next section is to provide a sense of urgency or bonuses. So when you have digital products, it seems like they'll just be there and people can get them whenever they want. But we want to make sure that there is some urgency there. That's going to just evoke an emotion for them to actually take action. This can be either doors closing, some kind of discount, or a bonus that might be going away. But how we can show that on our sales page is by adding a countdown timer. So on this section of the sales page, just below our what makes the course different, I'm going to scroll down, and this page already has a place to put in a countdown timer. So how this works in Kajabi is countdown timers are associated with a specific event that you've already created in Kajabi. So this is just a date that you've set in Kajabi. Let me show you where to find that. So in Kajabi, on the left-hand side, you're going to find marketing, and in marketing, you're going to find events. So you're going to be able to click on new event, put a title of the event and the date the event is happening. This is just going to set up the countdown timer for how many days, hours, and seconds left. And you can even create a next action after that event, such as sending them to a checkout page or sending them to another sales page that no longer has the bonuses or that urgency item there. So I'm going to click back here and let's just add that countdown timer. So here it's going to allow me to select an event I've already created or edit your events and create a new one. So I have an event here already for early bird access. So I will select that one. It's going to pull in that date, do some calculation, and start with a countdown timer. I can also scroll down a little bit here and you can see after event. So I can send someone to somewhere else after this countdown is done. I can also update the countdown settings, so I can change the number background color as well as the number color itself. Okay, so let's keep going. We're almost done. We have built out this sales page beautifully with some very specific, compelling copy. After we have a sense of urgency, we're going to scroll down, and now it's time to handle any sales objections using the FAQ section. So again, you have a copy prompt here to help you come up with what are those pressing questions someone might have if they're thinking about buying this course, but they have some questions or some objections. Let's handle those right on the page so they feel relief and can hit that Enroll Now button. So I'll come back here and let's scroll down. We're going to go a little bit past the sales box here just for a moment. We're going to come down to this copy FAQ section, and I'm going to show you why we're able to put this in right now. It already has the accordion feature, so each of these boxes is an accordion. The reason why it's an accordion or it's set up as that feature is people are able to click on that box and it will expand and give them the answer, and they can close it back up. So this is a special content block here. So how do we adjust this? I will click on the accordion. You can see the heading is the question they can see before they open it up, and the text is the answer here. So I'm going to go ahead and fill out each of these. This one has 4. If I wanted more than 4, I can go back and just duplicate the next one to be able to fill it out. I'm going to add in my accordion and then we're going to go back and finish up the page. So I have my 4 most pressing questions here with the answer so we can handle sales objections right here on the page. Let's spruce this up a little bit. I'm going to select away from the individual elements here or content blocks and select inside of the section. I'm also going to click on background here. Let's spruce it up a little bit. And instead of having none, I'm going to select image to be the background. And I'm going to go ahead and select an image from either one I already have or grab a background image from Canva. So I'll select one here, click select. It's going to copy that file from my existing images. And I want to do something specific. So first of all, I want to make this a fixed background, which means it will scroll with the mouse here. So it has a little bit of more dynamics and it looks like we're just coming upon this image. Secondly, because we have text on here, I want to darken that overlay a little bit. So we're going to add that background color, black color here, and cut it in half. And that looks about right. Okay, so I can also change the color of each of these accordions. So if I scroll down here, I can do background color and I can do a block background color. So know that you can update and change the actual color of the block. Okay, so it will show there and then you actually can see the little icon there. So you can update that. Let's keep going and finish this up. So again, these are your pay now buttons. So you either have a payment plan, which is one offer, or a paid in full plan with another offer. I will say with the new additions to Kajabi payments and the ability for someone to use something like Afterpay or Klarna, which is like digital layaway, we have less of a reason to actually have to have a payment plan because you can get paid up front with something like Klarna or Afterpay, but your customer can still choose to do digital layaways in like 4 easy installments or 3 easy installments, whatever works best for them. But it does not change what you're getting paid for your product up front. So if I want to take one of these boxes away, I'm just going to click in this section so I can see all of the elements in the section, and I'm going to just hide one of them. Okay, so it's going to pull the other one into, it's going to try to move all these blocks here, and all I need to do is change up the spacing so that it doesn't take this away. So for a payment plan here, I'm going to increase it. Also for the 14-day money back guarantee, which we're going to update in a little bit, I'm going to click on that, go to the width of the section and make it a little bigger here. So now these blocks are too big for them both to fit on the same line and they have to go on individual lines. I'm going to click save and we'll keep going. So you can change any of the text in here by clicking on it individually, the payment plan here, any subtext you want here, you can find all those on the left-hand side. And again, this register now buttons are not registering, right? So they would be like enroll now. And we can also change the color of that button just by selecting the button and coming down to the call to action and changing the button background color. Okay. So this is how we can change the payment section there. You also, of course, want to update this, make sure it says your course name. Okay, and I have some copy here now that says hurry to grab the early bird price, which is what the timer is referencing, and they can grab early bird price here. I could change this to say early bird pricing. All right, so going down to the money back guarantee. Some of my experts I've worked with really worry about this money back guarantee because they're saying, hey, I'm not guaranteeing any results. They still have to do the work. I understand that. This is really more of lowering the risk of them enrolling and seeing what's going on in that digital course and if it's exactly what they need. So you can reduce the time frame to something that works for you, or you can say there's a condition. You can get money back guarantee, but maybe you have to show all of your work for module 1. So I like for my own clients that come into my course to be able to see what is in the course. Is this exactly what you need? So I like to give them something between 3 and 5 days so they can look around in the course and say, yeah, this is exactly what I was looking for, or no, I actually misunderstood what this was and it's not for me, and I'm happy to give them a full money back guarantee there. So I'm just going to update that to 5-day money back guarantee. If you're not completely satisfied, and I can say with my course name or just remove that, let us know in the first 5 days so they can poke around and see what's going on for a full refund, no questions asked. Again, the point of this is just to lower their risk of enrolling, seeing what's in there, and knowing that if they really want to dive in and get the result, it's going to take a lot longer than the money back guarantee period, but at least they're going to be able to see what's going on and know if it's right for them. All right, so this is the last piece of the puzzle for your converting sales page, your high converting sales page. Now, all of your clients who come to this page, your browsers, can easily turn into buyers because they know the problem you're addressing, what's going to look like when that problem is gone, what the solution is, what is the details inside of that course, and so forth. So if this video really helped you out, I would love if you hit subscribe and click the like button. And most importantly, make sure you grab that free template for AI copy prompts and exactly the questions you need to ask so that robot can truly help you out so you can use it for this page and all your future sales pages going forward. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.